Yes,
Yeah, I got
no?
it, yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah. So if someone's talking to you and y'all are putting in the notes, tenant occupied, 1,200 a month, asking price 130,000. I don't even want that in the notes. It's not a deal. Can anyone tell me? All right, let's do some trivia now. I'm gonna do some trivia to see if people are paying attention. So I'm gonna do a couple situations here, and these are gonna be trivia. So this is actually, let me create a new spreadsheet. We're gonna see if people are paying attention. So this is trivia. Trivia. Tell me if it's, tell me if it's a yes or a no, okay? So we're gonna go, I'm gonna randomly call on people. So first scenario, scenarios. So first one, 100, 200,000 purchase price. Rent, 2,500 a month. Is yes, no. Okay, so Trisha, yes or no? Yes, it's a deal, or no, it's a deal? Trisha, yes,
Um,
deal or no, it's a deal?
yes.
Yes, it is a deal, or no, it's not a deal?
Yes.
Okay, why is it yes?
Just give me a second. I am actually computing the
Okay, sure, sure. Next scenario. 150,000 purchase price, rent 1,500 a month. Yes, no. George, run that one for me. Tell me if yes, it's a deal, or no, it's not a deal. Next scenario.
For the second one, asking 150, no, it's not a deal because it's like 1%, so we need to get it to 1.5 or maybe more.
Exactly. So this is not a deal because it's 1%. Okay, great. So Trisha, is yours a deal? Yes or no?
actually no.
Okay, why is it not?
Because the minimum offer should be 160,000.
Why?
I divided it to 1.5. So that's what I get.
Tell me the math that you did.
Pardon, please.
Tell me the math that you did. I'm gonna do it on my calculator here.
Yeah, I actually divided 2,500, 2,500 to 1.5, and then the result is 166,666. So yeah.
I understand what you're doing, and I respect it completely. But if you take 200,000, let me show you something here, just so I can make sure everyone's on the same page. If I take 2,500 and I divide it by 200,000, this is 1.2%. So does everyone see why this is not a deal? To the naked eye, it may look like a deal, but does everyone see why this is not a deal? To the naked eye, you might think that that's a deal. It's not. So you need to mark that down a little bit. So 200,000, not a deal. 1.25%.
So if you got it to the 166, like she was saying, if you got them down to 166, then we have a deal, right? Because we're at the 1.5.
All day long. All day long.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's do the next one. So this one, 2,000 a month rent. So Sean, is this a deal? Yes or no? 175 purchase price, 2,000 a month rent. and then Abdul, you're next, and then Jonathan, and then Yusuf, and then Sunny, and then Mahmoud, and then Joshua, and then Jahan. All right.
No, it's not.
All right, so let's run it. Let's see if it's a deal.
We need to be at 133,000 at purchase price in order to get to the minimum of 1.5%.
Exactly. So this is why these things are very technical, y'all. You have to get to 1.5% if you want to not waste your time, our time, and the seller's time. So if you're transparent with sellers on the first call and you get them to understand why their asking price is not feasible, that's the thing. Most sellers, they don't know better. They're just saying random numbers. So when you explain to them and you justify why we need it at this price, a lot of the times it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. And if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So everyone needs to remember that. Even the sellers, if it makes sense to them, it makes dollars. If it doesn't make sense, it's not gonna make dollars, okay? So I want everyone to remember that. 1.5% is the golden number. Anything better than that, icing on the cake. All right, so next scenario, $50,000 purchase price. 890 a month rent. Yes, no. So that's gonna be Abdul. Let me know if that's a deal, yes or no. After Abdul,
Yes, it is a deal. Yeah, it is actually a really good deal because it's actually 1.7%.
yep, it sure is. All right, great work. Next one, we're gonna go do a base hit, one that we get all the time. We're gonna do right. So we're gonna go with on this one, we're gonna go with Jahan. 60,000 purchase price, 600 a month rent. Is that a deal? Yes or no? I know you're driving, boss, so if you can't answer that, I
Was
get
that me? Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Oh,
No,
sorry.
that's Jahan. That's Jahan.
60 and 600, or hang on.
Yeah, 60,000 purchase price with a 600 a month rent.
No,
Okay, why is it?
it's 1%.
Exactly. Not a deal. It's 1%. And what do we need it at?
1.5.
Okay, so what's that price? What's that offer?
I didn't see the math on getting that back. Sorry, my bad.
Who can,
I
who
just-
can,
It's
can help
40K.
40.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
tell them the math on that? Tell them how you got that?
Oh, just I took the, what was it? The 600 a month divided by the 1.5%.
Boom, 40,000. So if we offer 40 grand and they took it, we got ourselves a deal. Great work. All right, so next one is gonna be Jonathan. He's good at this, so I gotta get him a hard one. So let's do 427,000 purchase price with 3240 in rent. Tell me if that's a deal, yes or no, John? We got a $427,000
No, it's not a deal
Why?
because it doesn't hit the 1.5% at the 32.40 a month. You need it at a $216,000 purchase price.
What's it at right now? What percent?
Let me take a look. Hold up. I didn't do that one. Divided by what's the purchase price? 427. It's 0.7%.
So this is less than 1%, everybody. This is definitely not a deal. And I know it's a big property, so you're gonna think, man, this is bringing in a lot of money in rent. $3,240 a month rent. That's a lot of money. 3,200 times 12, that's bringing in almost 40,000 a year in rent. So you might think this is a great deal. It's not a deal. It's not a deal. Just because it's a very nice multifamily apartment building, it's not a deal. So like Jonathan said, we need it for 216,000. Almost half of the price, everybody. Do you understand why it's so important that you bring these sellers down to reality? You shouldn't even send that lead into the system if they're asking less than 1%. You should tell them, hey, Mr. Seller, we normally buy stuff at 1.5%. So that would put you at 216,000. He'll probably say, well, I have more money than that into the property. No way I'm doing it. Okay, Mr. Seller. Well, the lowest we come down to is 1.2%. So even then, we're still too far off. You're at 0.7 and we need to get to 1.2. So we're pretty far off. And then that would be the last, then that would be the last of that conversation. Or he's going to come down in price and say, that makes sense. I heard a question.
I was gonna just say, can you just go over that last part of the formula to get back to it being 0.7%? Just make sure I'm doing that right.
Yeah. So I took the 3,240 in rent.
Okay.
I divided that by 427,000, the purchase price,
Okay,
Which is-
there we go.
0.007, which translates into 0.7%.
Okay, so that's what it is. Alrighty.
We need this digit right here to have a digit in it. If this is a
Okay.
zero, no, it's less than 1%.
Okay, got it.
Great question. All right, so I'm gonna do Yusuf. I'm gonna give Yusuf a hard one because he's pretty good at this. So let's go 648,000 purchase price. And the rent is going to be $7,189 a month rent. So Yusuf, tell me yes or no. And then I'm going to Mahmoud and then I'm going to Joshua.
No, it's not a deal. We need to get it down to 480 at least, 479.
So no, it's not a deal. We need 479K purchase to be at 1.5%.
Yes.
Okay, what's the percent right now?
Let me check.
You guys always got to be able to figure out what the percentage is currently if you want to be able to counter them. Or you can just take their asking price and divide it by 1.5 and
It's
see
1.1.
So it's 1.1%. The better you get at this, the easier it's going to come. And what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to take control of the conversation and slow the seller down. When they know that you're doing a calculation on the phone, it kind of breaks the ice in a way. It kind of like reduces the tension on the call because they know you're being transparent. You tell them, hey, I appreciate that, letting me know what the rent is. Give me one moment. I'm just doing a quick calculation. We typically buy our rental properties at 1.5% rent to value. So just give me one moment, Mr. Seller. And it slows the conversation down. Those moments of silence are actually really good because it forces the seller to think to themselves, oh, what's his asking price going to be? Oh my gosh, right? So it slows the conversation down and it allows you to build rapport. So good work, Yusuf. All right, next one is going to be Mahmoud or Joshua rather. So Joshua, we're gonna do a $365,000 purchase price. And it brings in 4,900 a month in rent. So let me know if that is a deal or not.
No, what was the purchase price? No, I need that for 327.
So we need it for 327K. So you can see this is actually a pretty decent counter offer. Like they're asking 365. We're like, Mr. Seller, I need it at 327 cash. Like typically they're not gonna like rain on your parade. Like they're not gonna say, well, hell no, I'm not gonna take 327K cash. Like it's a pretty fair offer. So he's at 1.3% right now, which is not horrible. We need to get it up 0.2%. So great work, Joshua. All right, Mahmoud, you're up. So we're gonna go ahead and do a 202,000 purchase price with a rent of $730 a month. Yes or no, Mahmoud? And then we got Sunny to end it out.
Yeah, that's not a deal. It's at 0.8.
What is it?
It's not a deal.
What is it currently at?
0.8.
0.8?
Yep.
What do we need it at?
1.5.
Yeah, what's
We
that
need
offer?
it.
What's that counter offer?
115.
115K?
Yep.
I'm telling you, y'all are already getting better before my eyes. This is great. Now you can call these sellers out on their bullshit when you're talking to them, because you're gonna understand how investors think. All right. Last but certainly not least, we're gonna go with Sunny. So Sunny, end it strong, my brother. End it strong. So we're gonna go with the purchase price of $732,000 purchase price with rent of $8,230 rent. Is it a deal, yes or no? Come on, Sonny, end it strong, my brother. Is it a deal? Drum roll, please.
No, sir, it's not a deal.
It's not a deal?
Yep.
What is the percentage that it's at currently?
I didn't check the percentage, but we need to give them 548K for the house.
So
Let me
our
check the
offer,
percentage.
so our offer
548.
548, and why do we need it?
Yep.
Why are you offering me 548,000, Sonny? That's a
Because
very much lower. I told you I need 732,000 and you tell me 548,000. That's a big difference.
yes, because we need to stand on 1.5%.
What does
But
that mean?
on like a rent to buy purchase price.
I don't follow along. You say 1.5%?
Yep.
What is that? Can anyone
Well,
help?
actually,
Can anyone
we
help Sonny with this role play? Just listen, Sonny. So Trisha, let's
Yes,
role play.
sir.
So, hey Trisha, I want $732,000 for my property. I bring in $8,230 a month in rent.
Oh, okay. Just give me a second. I'm gonna make a compute here.
You're gonna make a what?
Computation here.
You're gonna do what? So this is what I want people to say. Say, one moment, Mr. Seller, while I calculate the rent to value. So say that to me. One moment while I calculate the rent to value.
Okay, just give me a moment. I'm gonna calculate the rent.
The rent to value.
Okay, the rent to value.
Perfect. So give me a moment while I calculate the rent to value. Okay, sure. Sure. So you're going to calculate the rent to value. Can you explain what that is exactly? What are you calculating?
Yeah, I am calculating your purchase price to get minimum to get the minimum offer for you, because we need to get a 1.5 to be able to get a purchase price, or to be able to get a an offer for you.
You gave it a valiant effort, Trisha. I'll give you that. You gave it your all. So let's see. Yusuf. Hey, Yusuf, I'm looking for 732,000 purchase price. My rent is $8,230 a month in rent. I think it's a great deal, brother.
No, we'll need it at 548 for it to be a good deal, for it to be at the 1.5% mark.
I don't know what you mean. You say 548,000, 1.5%. Brother, I don't know anything you're talking about. What is that? What does any of that mean? That's a big difference. You just dropped it almost $200,000. I'm bringing in $8,200 a month in rent, brother. I'm not selling this for $500K. That doesn't make sense.
For it to make sense for us, it has to be at the 1.5% rent mark. The rent has to give 1.5% of the value for it to be a good deal for us.
So you're saying that the value of the home has to be 1.5% in rent?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't understand. I mean, I bring in $8,200 a month in rent. What's my percentage currently, sir? I think that's a pretty good rent. I mean, I'm bringing in almost a year. I'm bringing in almost $100,000 in rent.
You're sitting at 1.1% right now. We need to get that up to at least 1.5%.
Okay, and what does that look like? If I got it to 1.5%, what would I be looking at?
548.
548.
The rent to value should be 1.5% for it to be a good deal, as I explained.
So if I go back and I have a couple units that the rent is a little lower than the market rent. If I go and get those rents up, I can get my rent rolled to about $9,500 a month. Then could you do 732,000 if I got the rent to $9,500 a month in rent?
Then we'd be at 1.3%. No, we'd still need to get the price a little down or the rent a little higher for it to make sense.
Well, I can get the rent to 9,500. Okay. What would your offer be? I need to get to 732,000. So where would you be? 548,000 is not going to happen. That's almost 200,000 off.
Okay. So if you got the rent to, let me see here. Our offer would be 633.
Great work, brother. Great work. Great work. Great work. Great freaking work, man. So 630K offer if rent increased to 9,500 a month rent. Okay, Yusuf. Well, give me like 3 weeks. I just had a tenant move out. I'm gonna put a new tenant in there, Section 8, and I'll have the rent up to 9,500. And I think I can do 633,000 cash. And how soon can you close?
We close fast, man. ASAP. 10 days max. 10 to 12 days max.
So that puts us in a compromising position when you say max. I don't like being in compromise.
Okay.
So what I say is it's a play on words. I say I can get you closed as soon as 7 days. Now I'm not guaranteeing a max.
Oh, okay.
Say as soon
Yeah.
as 7 days. I'm not capping myself off. It might take a month, but I'm not saying that. It's sales. So I say I can get you closed as soon as 7 days. It might take longer. It might take a little less. It all depends a lot on how long the title work takes. Oh, okay, sure. So as soon as 7 days, okay. Well, call me back in 3 weeks once I get this tenant in there and we can talk. So does everyone understand that little role play, Trisha, Sonny? Do you understand
Got
how
it.
you controlled it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So I'm gonna make sure that I create a YouTube video with this training today. I'm gonna have my team Legacy just called back. Perfect. So someone can call them back. So one of my calls that I made called back. Perfect. So I hope everyone got value from this training. Give me a thumbs up on Zoom if you got value from this. And if you thought it went well, thank you, thank you. And do we have any closeout?
Hey, Devin, I got a question.
Sure, George.
Yes, what if we were in a situation that the buyer didn't like agree to share with us the rent? Like if I asked him and he said it's something personal, I don't want to share it. So what should we do in this situation?
Well, if they really want to sell their house, then they would get off of their high horse and be a little more transparent. So I would be very direct with them as well and say, I understand, Mr. Seller, that you don't want to tell me how much rent you have coming in every month. We buy a lot of rental properties, and in order for us to give you a proper evaluation of your home and make you a transparent, fair offer without lowballing you, we need to know what the rent is. Otherwise, I'm going to lowball you because I don't know what the rent is. Is that fair? So whenever you
It is.
whenever you have resistance, George, it is only because they don't trust you. That's the only reason they have resistance. They just don't trust you. So I would hit them again with rapport. I would say, hey, Mr. Seller, I understand. Totally get it. You know, you may have seen our videos online. You can also go on YouTube and type Flipping Detroit. You can see all of our videos there. Homeowners rave about us. They love dealing with us. We move quick. We're very professional, and we make it a stress-free process for you. So I understand you have some resistance. You don't want to give me the rent. But in order for me to do my best due diligence for you as the seller and to provide you with the best offer, I need to know how much rent you have coming in, just so I can run my calculation. Is that fair?
It is.
Great. So how much rent do you have coming in? And are they on a 12-month lease, 6-month lease, or a month-to-month? And go right back in for the close. Simple. Any other questions? Now's your chance, guys and gals. No? All right. Well, I'm gonna make sure I send you your login, Sean. So give me a few minutes and you'll have your login sent to you. And then on Monday, hopefully my website's live and I can get everyone back on full time. Be on the lookout. I do have some more filters that I'm going to have y'all dial. There's like some, Jahan, you had a question?
Yeah. Just run it through me one more time. How'd you guys get the 633 offer?
Okay. So the
Or
630.
or the 548 offered. I want to know the equation for that one.
Okay. So the 548, yeah, the 548 was based off of the current rent roll of 88,230. So we take the current rent roll, 8,230, and we divide it by the purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
So when we divide that by the 732,000 asking price, we saw that that was 1.1%. So that's not going to be a deal. So what we did is we said, okay, the current rent is $8,230. We divide that by 1.5%. So let me pull up my calculator right here.
Oh, okay. It's the rent price. Gotcha.
8230 and divide that by 1.5%. And that got us the 548,000.
Okay.
And the seller's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's 200,000 less. And we say, well, unfortunately, we need to be at 1.5%. So there's two things we can do. We can pay you the 548,000, or you could go and increase the rent. Oh, well, you know, I do have one unit vacant and I can probably get the rent up to 9,500 a month. Okay. At 9,500 a month, we can offer you, oops, my bad, 9,500 divided by 1.5%. So at 9,500, we can offer you 633,000.
Okay.
Almost 100,000 more if you just get the rent up another 1,200.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep. I just want to know what numbers went where. You got me.
Good stuff, good stuff. And I'll make sure everyone gets this training once I cut it down and upload it to YouTube. All right, any other questions? No? All right. Well, I'm gonna make sure everyone gets their dial list. I know we've been having some goose egg days where we don't send any leads in. It's okay. You're gonna have days like that. But what I'm gonna have people do, and I'm going to assign it, we have some part-timers just until Monday. I need some of that extra funds just so I can invest it into my website. So I appreciate y'all, but I'll put y'all right back on full-time. Don't worry. In the meantime, I want to split everybody up. I want some people calling active leads, following up with people that we've already talked to. So I'm going to dedicate certain people in the chat to do certain things. That way, we're not doubling up and calling the same people, because I know Sonny was mentioning that some of the filters I created for him still have leads that are in the leads. And the reason for that is there's somebody else calling the same data. So I'm going to organize it. I'm going to get everyone calling West Side data. So nobody's going to call the East Side. We're going to focus our efforts into the West Side. And then I'm going to have people calling active leads as well, following up with people we've already talked to, like Steven, for example, which turned into a really good lead. So I got to hop off. I got to get on a call with Jonathan for that Steven guy and try to get him cashed out, because that's guaranteed money. And then Sean, I want to get with you and get you connected with my person as well, so you can get cashed out on yours as well, your 4 unit. I haven't forgot about that. He texted me this morning. He's like, I just need to know, like, I just need her paperwork. So I'll get with you and we'll get everything over to him, and he'll tell you what your cash out is and how we can work with the 3-2-1 buy down mortgage.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, y'all. Well, this was a phenomenal training. I appreciate everybody.
Devin,